Welcome back to another episode to What If Civilization Started Over. Now, in the last episode, we saw lots of things happening over here in Asia. We saw, this country expand and then proceed to collapse. We saw Korea get a reality check, and we also saw a new emerging power in Italy. And in this episode, we'll be seeing a lot more expansion. So, well, we're gonna get on it. Let's get into the scenario. First thing that's actually gonna happen is, this country right here. See this little guy? This country was one of those tribes that saw an influx of people with this whole route. I do think this is a trade route, right? Close enough. It's close to the trade route, so it just saw an influx of people coming down here. And it's actually going to start expanding. It's going to become a little blob. Before long, it's going to meet up with the border over here. And I just don't want these borders to look horrendous, and these are going to be a bit more of a permanent border. But they're going to expand up here to the border, up to about there, and expand more south. And of course, at this point, these countries' borders, because these countries' populations have also kind of exploded with the trade routes. What the? Okay. Trade routes, so their population is seeing a huge spike currently. So we see something like this appearing. Korea is going to be on the move. They're going to start coming up here and start taking lots of this land here in northern Italy. Because they lost lots of their population over here when this part got annexed by this country, and so they're trying to get some of this land back. And expand something like this. And then, like, immediately after, a lot of this chunk just breaks away because they don't like being. A lot of the people over here were forced to move over here. So yeah, Korea just cannot get their stuff together. I think I learned their lesson for a little bit. They stop expanding. They're gonna start working. They're gonna even redistrict their states, which don't mention states. Yeah, I redid Europe states and the Middle Eastern states. So redoing all the states, making them more small, since I do think a lot of these are a bit big. For, like, really unique borders, and a lot of territorial change has been really big, so. These countries will probably be a bit, since this is a lot of states, so. Anyway, they're gonna redistrict their states. I won't actually do that right now, because I don't feel like it. They're gonna come out here and discover this island. And they're going to discover a few other islands. And then they're going to discover Japan. They land on Japan, and they discover all this island and start bringing up here. Now, they want to expand. Yes, they want to expand, but their people, and a lot of their people do. At the same time, they're being very cautious after this. Speaking of this country, you know what they're going to do? They're going to expand. Yeah, they didn't like forcefully being forced to move and expand. So they start exploring over here and kind of snaking around this coast. It'll be very fun to do states with. Anyway. The only problem with freaking China being gray. China, on the other hand, they take these two islands. And they make a landing on the island. Taking over this other island and exploring this island. Now, Korea's like, whoa, 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 whoa. This is our island? We discover it's ours. So they quickly rush and come over here. And still being very cautious, they claim their stake and stop right there. If I can make a straight line, flip it, that's close enough. Surveying error, eh? And well, ultimately, this leads to China taking over the southern island. And more exploration of Japan. Of this country, hearing that there's some things like... Actually, no, they discover Sakhalin. I think this is Sakhalin. I really just need to go onto, like, Google Maps and learn these islands' names. Eventually they discover it, and eventually they just, well, take it all. Yeah. New country over here in Eastern Asia. They're actually, and their city, and their capital city will be, like, right here. Oop. Not big enough. Boop. And boop. Now, what do I want to do next? Biggest decision. What do I do next? I don't know, actually. The next thing that's going to be happening is this country, the light blue country right here, kind of blocked in. Remember last episode they lost. No, maybe not the last episode, but recently they did lose this. Oh, recently. It's been like 100 years or something. Or like 50. It was like, okay, for instance, from episode 9 to, you know what? Never mind. Next thing that's going to be happening is the blue team right here. They're going to send some boats across the Red Sea, or this little strait in the part of the Red Sea, I don't know. Anyway, they're going to actually start taking lots of land. They want land because they just lost like half of their country over to this country. This maroon, little weird red team, so. Yeah, and their stake is pretty big, right? Like that, yeah, something like that. And they also explore more into the desert and send over here. Thinking of the maroon team, they're gonna take this island, and they're also gonna take a bit of. Nah, they're not gonna take any of it. That's a bit far for, I think, medieval times. No. Lots of colonization, lots of exploration. But let's be honest, you want war. And the red team is doing exactly what y'all want. They're gonna declare war on this team. Remember, the red team and the little light blue team, they formed up at the very end of the era of instability before a little bit of... Before that little era of peace and relative stability, at least compared to the era of the era of instability. So, but the red team wants land, so they start marching through this, and at the same time, this country is just losing about half of their country, marches in and like immediately takes the capital. That is a very similar color. I need to change that. That's better. But yeah, anyway, they immediately take the capital. And they start pushing upwards. And well, at this point, their only two major cities are gone, so they're gonna surrender. So the two teams are gonna meet and decide what they're gonna do with this country. And, well, it's gonna look very similar. It's gonna look like this. And it looks something like this. As we could see, the green team was partitioned between these two things. And I realized there are some capitals of foreign countries, that no longer exist. So, yeah, there we go. It's fixed now. Whoopie-doo, yay. What to do. Exploration. So, at this point, a lot of these countries being newer, they want land. So they're going to actually start sending out exploration groups and start exploring into, well, the coldness that is Siberia. World's population has exploded since the Silk Road was basically was made. So lots of these countries want more lands to house more of this population. Eventually, it looks something. Eventually, they explore like this, and actually, even Europe gets down on this. These islands, actually, no, those islands won't be explored. Scotland's gonna rediscover Iceland. Yeah. They see old Nordic buildings here, and they're like, what the hell happened here? Eventually, they discover the island, and even take the island for themselves. Fun! All these countries, they're gonna start expanding quite a lot. And to make these borders look somewhat nice looking and not just completely terrible, the new borders of northern Eurasia will look something like this. This is now the new northern borders of Eurasia. We can see lots of countries have expanded, most notably these East Asian ones. They expanded quite a lot. We even see a bit of a border dispute between the brown and the cyan team. But this has brought more area for people to live, really, in these countries, as at this point they're going through a massive population spike. So, yeah. Basically, most of the countries that bordered the uncolonized land got land besides the brown team, because to be honest, they're just kind of chilling. The next thing is going to be conflict. This reddish southern Iberian team has, well, they don't particularly like this country. And, well, they start moving in I actually don't know what it would be at this time. Armies, I guess, but swords. Oh, they start moving in. But, the green team, once, like, lime team getting onto the opportunity starts and takes over this and takes over these islands. I'll eventually look something very similar to this, with the red team, well, the blue team really not having a chance of these. Yeah, the red team didn't particularly like that, so they start moving into this land. Slight problem with that is, they're part of Alliance, and they see this, and they're like, hey, wanna help out? And they're like, sure, we're not really doing anything. So they start sending in their troops down here on their boats, and, well, I want to say number 7 and 6, and probably, I don't know, fight against this country is going to do a lot of damage. So, They start moving in. Freaking hate tolerance on this application. And they start taking lots of land. Oh, they start recapturing lots of this land. They capture all of this, and yeah, they said, okay, we're sorry, and they're like, no, you started this, we're gonna finish what you started. King's dead in this land, so, yeah. They start pushing in from the borders, and, well, the capital's captured, and, well, that was quick. And, well, the land exchange will look something like this. Three, two, one, test. We are recording. We are skibbity.